And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on. You fight on, you fight on. When your government is doing you wrong, you fight on, oh, you fight on.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Hathaway.
This is the Democratic National Committee, i.e. the Democrats. Thanks to the massive failures of the Biden-Harris administration and the mental and physical decline of President Joe Biden, which led to losing the House and the Senate to the Republicans and the White House to Donald Trump, the Democrat Party is in absolute shambles. The New York Times spoke to more than 50 Democrat leaders, and it doesn't bode well for the party. In private meetings and at public events, elected Democrats appear leaderless, rudderless, and divided. They have no shared understanding of why they lost the election, never mind how they can win in the future. And that's correct. During a forum for the DNC chair, Democrats were asked about the following political ad.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
And this ad was a major problem for the campaign because they could not figure out how to effectively get in front of it. So moderator Simone Sanders asked DNC chair candidate Ken Martin about what he specifically would have done to respond to that ad.
In October of 2024, a large part, about 1/3 of Trump's advertising budget, went specifically to this one ad. It was about gender-changing surgeries for a small number of transgender, incarcerated, undocumented immigrants. These particular ads ended with the line, "Kamala is for they, them, President Trump is for you." How should Democrats respond to this attack?
Our party has to live its values.
And providing sex change operations to federal criminals certainly isn't a Democrat value, right, Ken? Right?
Everyone has dignity. Our party believes that no matter where you're from, no matter where you live, no matter who you love or who you are, you have dignity and we're going to fight for you. And that's what we're going to do as a Democratic Party.
So Ken Martin's answer? He would have responded to the ad by doubling down. Further proof that the Democrat Party is majorly out of touch with the American people. Now, while the New York Times said that Democrats have no shared understanding of how they lost the election, they can all agree on one thing.
How many of you believe that racism and misogyny played a role in Vice President Harris's defeat? Okay. So, that's good. You all passed.
It's not that Kamala Harris lost because she was the most unpopular vice president in modern American history or couldn't answer basic questions. No, it's because everyone who didn't vote for her was a racist and a misogynist. Democrats, the more things change, the more things stay the same. So on his way out the door, President Joe Biden gave a farewell address to the American public, about 3 years too late.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. And that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people.
Says the man who awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to billionaire George Soros, who is best known for injecting billions of dollars into American politics to affect the outcomes of American elections. But whatever. And this tech billionaire oligarchy talking point was Joe Biden's parting gift to the Democrats. A talking point that they're already running into the ground.
Do you want the money of the folks that he's talking about if you're chair of the Democratic Party, of these tech executives, or would you bar any contributions from tech?
It's important for our party to raise money, for sure, but not at the expense of our values. There are a number of billionaires in this country that have no interest in helping the working class in this country. The idea of an oligarchy, the idea of the billionaire class and others essentially ruling this country, the president's absolutely right. We are heading down a path that we haven't seen ever. And as the next DNC chair, I'll make sure we're not taking money from people who are trying to put people down and to go against the working class in this country. We will not take money from people that do not share our values as a Democratic Party.
Who are the kind of folks that you're talking about? Because it sounds really good, but specifically, who are there types of folks that you will bar from giving money to the Democratic Party?
Well, there's lots of billionaires I won't take money from. Elon Musk is one of them, right?
Not that he's offering to donate any money to the DNC or anything, but wow, what a bold statement. Keep your money, Elon Musk.
There's a lot of tech, this tech industrial complex that President Biden was talking about and others. There are a lot of donors there who are clearly working against the interest of working class people that I would not take money from. There's too many to name. That's the problem in this country right now, right? The top 1% in this country who control so much of the wealth, right? Who are lording over this country right now, we shouldn't be taking their money.
Let me read some of that back. The top 1% in this country who control so much of the wealth, we shouldn't be taking their money. But as it turns out, Ken Martin doesn't mean it.
The top 1% in this country who control so much of the wealth, right? Who are lording over this country right now, we shouldn't be taking their money. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good billionaires out there that have been with Democrats who share our values, and we will take their money. But we're not taking money from those bad billionaires.
Thank you, Chair Martin. So a list of good and bad billionaires at the DNC.
Yes, even Eugene Daniels, a man who routinely dresses like this, finds Ken Martin's statement ridiculous.
Really quickly, a show of hands from the others, a blanket ban on tech execs as chair of the Democratic Party. Contributions. All right.
F***ing hypocrites.
The fight right now is against Donald Trump and the billionaires who bought this country.
Oh, sure. The Republicans are shaking in their boots, Ken.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
And that pretty much set the tone of the DNC officer elections. But before we continue, let's begin with a very important land acknowledgement.
Welcome. The Democratic National Committee wishes to acknowledge that we gather together to state our values on lands that have been stewarded through many centuries by the ancestors and the descendants of tribal nations who have been here since time immemorial. We honor the communities native to this continent and recognize that our country was built on indigenous lands and hope.
Gee, I just can't understand why the Democrats are losing to the Republicans.
My people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We are sick and tired of being the last one hired and the first one fired. We are sick and tired of the word white, working class being a code word for whiteness.
Fun fact. Out of 428 votes cast for DNC chair, Dr. Quintessential Hennessy here received 0 votes. I know you're shocked.
Good morning, Democrats. We can do better than that. Good morning, Democrats. All right.
Yeah, no one voted for him either.
I was one of the first people in America to protest at Donald Trump's first rally in New Hampshire. My friend, who's a big mentor to me and encouraged me to get in this race, we did it together. So I've been fighting against Trump this entire time.
Others protested more quietly against Trump's perceived anti-Mexican statements.
By the way, I love Mexicans. They're great.
I'm a trendsetter. I've hated Trump since before it was cool. I can't believe that he only got one vote at the DNC. Where are those good old-fashioned values, guys?
My name is Marilyn Davis, and I am running for DNC secretary. All 4 of the most powerful positions of the party at the DNC are poised to belong to people of non-color. I'm asking for your vote to change that today.
Vote for me because I'm not white. Ironically, she lost to a gay white man, so there's that.
Good evening, Democrats. Look up here. 3 strong black women standing before you. 3 black women who, rather than just grabbing a chair, ran for chair.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
Whoa, calm down, Timu Kamala. And no, she didn't win either. And if you thought that was cringe, here's Grant Tennille, chair of the Democratic Party of Arkansas, speaking about one of his surrogates.
He has taken me to places where he's the only black person and I'm the one who's afraid. And Chris is actually connecting with people who scare the hell out of me.
Feeling better about the midterms yet? I know I am.
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. Today I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history. My family's originally from Puerto Rico. I'm proud to be the only Afro-Latino in this race, and I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
So when former Biden-Harris appointee Troy Blackwell suddenly proclaimed that he was non-binary, it immediately further complicated what was already a very complicated election. Here's outgoing DNC chair Jamie Harrison.
As you know, our 3 at-large vice chair positions are used to ensure gender balance among 7 offices: treasurer, secretary, national finance chair, and vice chair for civic engagement and voter participation, and the 3 at-large vice chairs.
Not sure how you can have a perfect balance of genders across 7 positions, but whatever, please continue.
Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. Our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
So don't pick the best person for the job and make gender the primary concern. Got it.
To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week. But I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent.
Oh, good. I was worried there for a minute because, it all sounds pretty convoluted.
We'll have 1 officer of the 3, so then we will know which position is filled of the 1 male, 1 female, and 1 vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the 3rd position that is remaining based on the 2 results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
Yeah, I don't get it either. But did adjusting the rules to make it more equitable for the non-binary candidate ultimately matter?
The final tally of votes: Troy Blackwell, 0.
Well, that was a waste of time. After all of that, I need to point out that the gender balance among DNC officers doesn't actually exist, because there are more male DNC officers than there are female. Womp womp. So who were the actual vice chair winners? Well, first is anti-gun activist David Hogg, which is weird because back in 2022, David said the following: "I'm one of the most politically toxic people in the country, and I'm too radical for American politics. No, I'm not running for office. We have enough straight white men in power. It'd be nice to see some people who actually look like our country and not privilege." So he stole a vice chair seat from a person of color. Sad, really. Like, I'm already one of the most politically toxic people in the country. Any politician doing anything with me is in effect committing political suicide. So David Hogg proclaimed, "I'm a terrible person." And the DNC was like, "You're hired." And then there's Malcolm Kenyatta, the Pennsylvania state senator whose biggest accomplishment was losing the 2022 Democratic Senate primary to John Fetterman. And last but not least, there's Artie Blanco.
Te quiero mucho, papá. Gracias por todo. My name is Artie Blanco, Freddie Blanco's daughter. Vote for me for vice chair.
Una mexicana sí se puede.
Se puede. Se puede.
Se puede.
Se puede. Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Gracias.
Todos juntos. Todos juntos.
The DNC is not a serious organization, guys. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, if there is a next time.